You know, a question I like to ask up top is rituals.
Okay.
Do you have any rituals when you do your podcast, for example, your very popular podcast, or when you write or anything? Do you have any rituals around
before every
your career?
episode of the podcast? We do a little Santeria. Kevin brings out a goat. We cut open the heart. Just, your average ritual.
Yeah, that's as is tradition.
I'm sure. I mean, I must have missed it when I came in.
Yeah. I actually killed somebody and revived them.
That's great.
Before you got here.
That's so great. But honestly, no, I don't really have any rituals when it comes to the podcast. Although,
even you do a lot of live shows. Even before live shows, you don't have anything. You just kind of show up.
I used to have a ritual for live shows where it was like I just wanted to like get out of my own headspace and sort of like stop feeling like weird about my body and being like, oh, I got to go out on stage and just like everyone's watching me the whole time. So I would just do like 10 push-ups and 10 sit-ups, like literally. That's great. As we're waiting in the wings for them to cut the music and whatnot, I'd just be like, all right, very quickly do that. And then I feel like, okay, all my muscles are tense. Now I either look super weird or not, but I can't worry about it.
That makes you tense?
Well, it's just like just doing quick exercise and immediately going, okay, got to get on stage. I think it makes me, it's that feeling of when you've just done exercise and then like you gotta, like you're jogging home or something, you're like, I just did exercise. Right. But I look real good, even though it's like not that much exercise. So I think in my head, it just makes me think, okay, cool. I'm super buff now.
Right.
I can go out on stage in front of people.
It's also got to give you a little energy boost.
Yeah.
I feel like if I have a lull in the day, I'll do like a 10 jumping jacks or something, and it'll just get me going.
There you go. Yeah.
Nice little warm up.
Then when I stopped doing that because I would start going out on stage and just look really sweaty. Because we also had to like we do shows where the opening bit of the show is us like dancing around and doing a song.
Yeah.
So for me to
or
do
rapping or whatever. Yeah.
And do like try to do a rap and run around the stage, I'm just like this is too much. So I just changed my ritual.
Can't double down on it.
Right. But now I just not
take
now,
a nap before you go out.
I should. I definitely should have, but no. I just like brush my teeth backstage. Yeah,
interesting.
It's just
you bring a toothbrush and toothpaste with you too.
Because they also usually have a shower, which makes me feel like, okay, it's cool to do that. I'm not the weirdest person backstage,
right?
But it's just like having a fresh mouth or having like mint in my mouth makes me feel like, okay, not a weird breath. I can feel more confident and I can just go out on stage and talk.
Wait, I haven't ever been to one of your live shows on the road, but aren't these at clubs where they have, it's like comedy clubs, right?
Well, it's no, it's more like theaters where like they have musical performances.
So they don't ever have drink minimums at your show. So you don't drink during your shows ever.
No. No. Well, I think I tried once, but it was like I didn't get through most of the beer. Honestly,
you got sleepy.
And then I got sleepy. I truly believe it was just kind of like I think I had like a Coors Light on stage once, and I was just like, what would happen if I got drunk during a show? But then like halfway through the beer, I was just like, I'm not enjoying this, and we're almost done.
Right.
Why get drunk in time to meet them afterwards? That's weird.
That's not bad. What about when you write? You were writing on The Good Place, and you maybe or may not be writing on something now. Do you have any rituals around writing?
I'm writing on something now, but I don't have any big rituals around writing except for like if there's a day when it's like, oh, I'm out on script and I'm at home and I have to do an outline or whatever, I will take the morning and just like I'll wake up early and like get all of my nonsense stuff out of the way, which is like, okay, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. Actually, a tea is definitely a ritual for writing because
Here we go.
I always make like just a cup of tea for me to have.
What kind of tea?
Usually like a peppermint tea, just something
You're big into mint.
I really am. I don't know why, and I'm just realizing it now, but I am. But like I'll make myself tea and then I'll like surf the internet until I find myself refreshing the same pages, and I'll be like,
really?
okay, I've exhausted the internet. This isn't something that can distract me anymore, and then I'll disable the Wi-Fi for as long as I can and just try to write.
Wait, what do you mean disable the Wi-Fi for as long as you can?
Like until I am writing.
You just turn it off and then...
I truly just turn off the Wi-Fi on my computer, and then like I start typing and like writing and taking notes until I get to a point where I'm like, okay, I have to look something up. I'll use the internet again. But I try to like keep myself off the internet as long as possible.
You don't have like an app or anything that locks you out of the Wi-Fi?
I mean, I could just... I'm sure there are apps that do it, but I feel like just disabling it myself makes it so much like it's like a thing to overcome to have to turn it back on, so I can't just like find a way to work around it.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that. So you just knock it out in the morning then when you're off script or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I just had Tracy Wigfield on. She created great news.
I love her.
She talked about that's basically what she does.
Really?
Weekend mornings when she's off script, she'll knock it out really early.
Well, it works for her, so let's hope it works for me. 'Cause I think great news is so incredible.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
I've been watching it, and
Wait, so I assume you write your own stuff as well when you're not working on a show. Do you have any rituals around that? Do you like have a night of the week or a set amount of time you knock stuff out, or coffee shops you go to?
Like when I'm writing stuff for myself, it's a lot more difficult. So I'll just tell myself, okay, 10 minutes. Like if there's an idea that I have, I'll be like, okay, just every single day I'll spend 10 minutes writing, and I'll just like literally set a timer where it's like, even if I just write or like write words and then erase all of them by the time I'm done, I've written for 10 minutes.
Okay.
So then like I'll just like get to a point where like by the third day of doing that, in that 10 minutes, I've gotten to a place where I'm like, oh, okay, I actually know what I'm writing now. And I'll get like very confident, and the 10 minutes will pass, and I'll be like, okay, but I am going to keep writing right now until it's like night, and I'm like, okay, I have to go to sleep. But it's really just about my ritual for writing for myself is just creating like a set amount of time where I have to write, whether or not I think it's going to be good. I just have to get words onto a page because I think the only reason I write when it's like for a job or for something that I'm submitting to an editor, it's like I only do it because I have a deadline. It's so easy to do things with a deadline.
Yeah,
like,
it's way easier.
Doing like I realized like after I left college, I didn't do anything because I didn't have like a grade or something attached to it, and I needed a way to force myself to do it. So I just like made it a ritual where it's like every single day, 10 minutes.
Oh, you do it every day? That's great.
Yeah. Which is hard because sometimes I don't have ideas to write for, but I'll just like look at like I have notepads that are just like, this is the notepad for this movie idea that I have, where I every so often will think of an idea and like drop it in the notepad and look at that, and I'm like, okay, can I write anything for this today? Nope. Cool. Next day I'll focus on something else.
I do something very similar with that. I use a OneNote. It's like a Microsoft OneNote, and it syncs on all your devices. And I have a page for each of my ideas, and if I think of something for it, I just add it to that page,
which is great. And it's like been such a great help as I'm currently working on a show that I can't talk too much about, but it's like
or is he working on the show? We will never know.
You'll never know. Let's hope that you'll see in television in 2018 whether or not I did work last year. But it's just, I will have a notepad where if I think of an idea for an episode, I'll just be like, oh, cool, great, that's great, and I'll write it down, and then I'll wait until
Do you actually use physical notepads though?
Well, so I have like one notebook that I use specifically for like writing things down, because I feel like it's more tactile, so that if I'm like writing something down, I also tend to remember it and I don't have to go back to the notepad. But if I'm like out on the go, like in a car or at the grocery store, I'll have my phone and just have a bunch of notepads. But like then when I start to write, I have to have both of them and like sync them together.
Right, that's hard. I feel like anything I write down actually on paper, I never revisit.
Really? Oh, is it because you remember it or because you don't? Oh, yeah.
Just because I just don't. I can't read my writing.
I started carrying around just like a thing of Post-it notes, just for like tasks and to do. Where it's like if I write it down, then I have a physical thing to be like, okay, this is done, and I can like tear it up, and it's very satisfying to like trash all of these notes. So
I have a whiteboard in my room. I do that,
right? Yeah.
So you can just erase it and be like, ooh, feels so good.
I tried doing that with like the Notepad app on my phone, but it would just be like I have 50 to-do lists like separate, and be like, oh, there are still things on this that are here on every single list.
And it's much less satisfying when you just press backspace.
It's so nice to tear up a Post-it and be like,
I like that. I got
went to the grocery
I got all these
store.
Post-its here that are never used. I should start just putting them around shit.
Yeah. Plus, you look like a crazy person, but
beautiful
people
mind
also
style.
Be like, he's not crazy. He's a genius. I've seen this in movies before. Even if everyone is just like, go to the store, come back from the store.
Are you a procrastinator in general?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is bad.
Who isn't? Who are these people that aren't? By the way,
anyone that's like, I had a week to do it and I'm done already. But I think I'm a procrastinator just because for so much of college, I coasted on writing essays at the last minute, and I found like I was better at doing it when I did it under duress.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like, well, everything in my life is that way.
Right.
But I don't know.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
What about just in your day-to-day life? Do you have any rituals?
Not as many as I should have, that's for sure. I don't have too many rituals in my day-to-day life.
Is it tea every day?
It used to be until I started realizing that I'd wake up with a headache because I didn't drink any water. It was just tea the previous
really?
day. Yeah, so it's I'll drink tea in the morning or when I'm writing.
You get tea hangovers.
Yeah, which is crazy because I don't drink, so I don't get actual hangovers, but I'll get tea hangovers that are just headaches.
I've never heard of that before.
Right? It's just dehydration. But,
right.
But it's bad for me.
That's hilarious.
But I'll try to have like tea in the morning or at work, and then when I get home, I'll just be like, okay, only water until I go to bed, and then I'll make like that like sleepy time tea or something.
Oh, I love sleepy time tea.
It's delicious.
Oh.
And when I first found it, I was like, okay, but like, what is it really? Like, it's just flavored tea. And I'd be like, oh, but I am tired.
It is. It just is comforting.
It's very comforting.
It's like a snuggie.
I love it.
Okay, so nothing. You don't work out or anything every day or every week, or you don't
try to work out,
meditate,
but
prayer.
No, I downloaded an app once to like try and help me meditate, but I would close my eyes and just start thinking about something else.
Yeah.
And then I'd just be like, okay, when this meditation is over, I'm going to take as many notes down as I can.
Right.
The thing I'm thinking about. I don't routinely exercise, but every so often, like a friend will let me, like friends will have me take care of their dogs, and I'll jump on the chance because it means I get to walk for a long amount of time.
Yeah.
Just on a regular basis, which is nice. But I also started riding my bike to work because it's 15 minutes from me, and I'll just be like, instead of driving, I'll just ride my bike everywhere.
Are you for your yet to be named show that may or may not exist? Is that every day, from Monday through Friday?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's a ritual.
It is a ritual. Yeah, job is a ritual. When I'm not employed, I do have a ritual of like trying to get through as much of television as I can, because I do feel like, and it's not like in a sense that is like, that's not a ritual because it's just watching TV, but I have a giant notepad of every television show or movie that's been recommended to me since college.
Oh, funny.
And like what year it came out, and what like the Rotten Tomatoes critics and audience rating is, if it's available to stream, whether I've seen it before, if I need to catch up, and like who recommended it to me. And it's like color code and everything. So it's just me trying to get through that chart, and television's the hardest part of it, because it's like a season is like 2 movies at the very least. So that's just my thing of like trying to get through it and critically just intake all of television.
Are you taking notes when you do this?
No, I have to stop myself from doing that, because for my podcast, I do have to take notes when I watch the episodes. So I'll get into a habit of like, I watch an episode of Gilmore Girls and take notes, and then it's like, oh, time to check out Baskets, and I want to be like, I have notes on this, but then I'm like, who are these notes for?
Who cares? You're writing it.
Yeah, I should write it down and just be like, okay, and delete.
The problem, though, if you did start taking notes, you'd probably lose the fun of it, right?
Yeah. Plus, if I do start like thinking too introspectively about a TV show that I'm watching, I'll just start tweeting out shit about it, and it'll be like snarky shit. But I'm like, it's like, oh, this show's still going. I am on season 3. I've watched a lot of it. It's not good for me or for anybody.